Maybe she's stuck in the bathroom again.
That would explain her smell.
Alright guys, let's start this meeting. So we need to plan what we're doing on Mars, how we're getting there, and how we're going to set up our mall, alright?
Where are we having the meeting?
That's right, all the furniture is being moved to our office in Mars.
With no chairs, how are we going to cherish the memories, guys?
Yay!
A few moments later.
Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing for Project 1 is we're going to be designing like the basic functions of the robots. So Winston's going to work to be programming them like forwards, backwards, reverse, different shapes. So that way for the next couple projects we can make them like higher level so we can do cooler stuff on Mars to help with our mall.
Right, and we're just doing this, to like get like a basic sense of like how the robots work, how reliable they are and stuff, and like how they're gonna be able to handle the construction, on like the Martian surface with all the sand and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like Isabella was saying, I'm working with the software GearsBot, and what it's going to do, you can code it or you can use block codes, and that'll make it go forward, backwards, left, right, make a circle, make a square, reverse circle, and reverse square, and everything like that, just so that we can get a feel on how the robots are going to work, so that we can program it to do the more complex actions.
Okay.
Awesome.
Alright, Tina, robot-wise, what do you got for us this week? Hit me.
So we're gonna be using a Maze Runner robot because it's gonna be throughout our whole project we're gonna be using it, and then we're gonna use a sensor single line follower because it's a basic one that's mainly used for basic information,
Gotcha. That sounds great.
Oh,
Hey
hey
guys.
guys.
Guys, this week we're using the Maze Runner and the single.
The single sensor line follower.
Oh, that. Right. And
But the single sensor line follower has a slight delay when you give it commands.
but it has the pen attachment that the robot will follow it easier.
Even though we're gonna use the Maze Runner a lot, it just doesn't have a pen, so it's gonna be more difficult to track it.
Okay, but the Maze Runner has really good movements and commands that are quick to use.
Okay. I cannot wait till we get this mall built so we don't have to sit on the floor anymore, guys.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be
The floor is
great.
quite cool.
Quiet.
Meanwhile.
Alright, so what you see here is the GearsBot website, which is the actual software that we'll be using to program our robots. Now, as you can see, all of this is just basic movement. I separated each of them with this stop thing, which doesn't really do anything to the actual robot. It just helps organize the code to make it look more just organized and easier to go through. So I'll go through each of these movements when it actually runs a simulation. And this is the Python that the simulation software will be using to actually read and run it. That's for the first robot. Note the pen right here, which we don't use for the second one because it's not compatible with the Maze Runner robot. It's only compatible with the single sensor line follower robot. So if we go over here to our simulation, all we did was upload the code from our first program to the first robot, and then the second one to the second, so that they're two individual ones. And you see we have the Maze Runner robot here and the single sensor line follower robot right here. So if we go ahead and run it, again, it's just basic things. You'll see this line shows you the movements. We have it go forward, it goes backwards, we'll have it turn to the right, and it'll go to the right, then turn to the left and go left, just like in the code. And we're just doing these basic movements. Like right now it's making a square. We're just doing this to get the kind of grasp the concept of the programming that we need to do, and just so that we can make it do more complex things for what we need on Mars. Like right now it's going to make a circle, and as you can see, the yellow robot's doing the exact same thing as the blue robot. It's just not drawing a line because again it wasn't compatible, but you can see they're both doing the same movements. So you see it made the circle, now it's doing a reverse square to show that we can have it drive backwards and we can control it. And after this, it'll do a reverse circle, so doing a circle backwards without having to turn all the way around. And these are just the basic movements that we'll be working on, obviously getting more complex to tailor our needs on Mars. And that's basically all we have and all we need to do. Hey guys, how we doing?
Doing pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for myself. I feel like such a bum wearing these clothes. It sucks because all my suits were shipped into Mars. Some other problems I was having was getting all the code to work and being able to display my project and everything with some current things that were just going on, some bugs that I had to work out. But I just kept on running it and kept on trying new methods, and it eventually worked out. How'd you guys do?
Okay, well, so a problem I faced was finding a robot that only had pros. And something I learned was that all the robots we are going to use are going to have pros and they're going to have cons. So the solution I found was to just kind of look at all the robots and figure out which one had the least cons, or the cons that didn't really factor in for us.
Yeah, again, like similar to you, I had a problem with all of the cons that all the robots had. You know, like, so what I did to remedy this was I realized that there are other strengths that overpower it. And like, I learned some things about the robots, like the sensor line follower, you know, it's not actually, like, it has a slight delay when you give it commands. I learned that, I didn't know that. But I also learned that it has a pen that you can use to easier track its movements, which will be really great for this basic movements project.
Something I found difficult was like we couldn't find like a program to be able to get all the robots in. But then I found GearSpot, and I learned that the two robots that go in are gonna work hand in hand, and like using that code is gonna help us and like help move all our stuff to Mars when we get there.
Yeah.
You know, I found it really difficult deciding which robots we're going to be using, but like in the end, I realized that we're going to use a Maze Runner a lot, and the single line sensor follower is just like a really basic generic robot, which will also help us get a better understanding, like hands-on experience with robots in general.
Yeah,
Okay,
is the
fine.
rocket here to take us to Mars yet?
Yeah, I think
This is gonna be out of this world, right? Right?
Sure.
Let's go, guys.